All right. Hi, fire breathers. So I'm going to multitask here. We've got a max plank today, and I was going to pull up a music video to watch while I hold my plank, because the thing about planking, usually it's a mental thing more than a physical thing, right? There's a camera, there's a camera. So rather than do that, I figured I'd post a video. So that being said, not quite sure what I'm going to talk about, and I've got 20 seconds to figure it out. Honestly, we'll probably just talk about my injury, not necessarily my injury, but just, you know, strategies for overcoming when things like this happen to you, and resilience. I know I've written about it a little bit, and okay, so with my injury specifically, but even just this whole year. So if, depending on how long you've been following, how well you know me or you know my situation, you know, starting January 1st, I lost my place and immediately started making my own place and way in the world. And you know, was lucky enough to be welcomed into a new facility to train at. That was awesome. And then, you know, as soon as I got in a good groove there, up and moved across the world. And so all that kind of got sidetracked and sidelined. And then as soon as I sort of started getting into a groove here, this happened. And while moving, like I say, I always try to practice what I preach. So I was scaling workouts and modifying them and doing my best with what I had. And it was situational. It was circumstantial. Living in a hotel, you know, for a month, you do what you can. And I like preaching that. I like living that example and being that example for you guys. And then equipment-wise, you know, being here, the facilities on post are cool. I'm not going to be able to hold this long. And then my home gym set up and situation, and modifying workouts based on equipment. And what's been difficult since then, right, is modifying the workouts for the injury. So it's kind of one of those, you don't appreciate what you have until it's gone. Like, I hate benching. I hate deadlifting. I really miss doing those things. And, okay, I'm good. So now we're just gonna talk on the floor like this. And so I miss doing those things, right? I love squatting. And immediately, right, you try to focus on what you can do. What are the positives? So, you know, I started out by saying, this is great. Squats and abs, squats and abs. But, you know, that gets boring pretty quick. And running, I've run a couple times, run a few times. It sort of works, sort of doesn't. And struggling with, what are the options that you have? What can you do? And letting go of, what is it that you want to do? Expectation is the root of all disappointment, right? And that's where making plans and trying to stick to plans is hard, because when you develop a plan, you lay out your goals, you have these things you want to work on, and then what happens when you get sidelined? What happens when you have to make exceptions and you have to throw those plans away. How do you readjust? So on the website, I blogged about it a little bit, adjusting the sails, and did a lot of awful cliches about smooth sea never made a skillful sailor, and when you're in these moments of difficulty, of challenges, and you're faced with how do you make adjustments? Are the adjustments worth making? Right? So for me personally, when these things happen, I try to think of it like this will help me in scaling for my athletes, right? And I try to use that to my benefit. This will make me a better coach. This helps deepen my scaling level, because there's never just one way to scale something, and everything should be scaled with the idea of making you better and getting you further, not just taking the easy way out. So what are deeper, more thorough substitutions for different movements, and what are the difficulties and challenges when you have an athlete that is missing a hand, or is missing fingers and can't grasp things? How do you compensate for that? How do you get them to mimic the stimulus of the workout and keep the integrity there? So when you're not a coach, or you don't have athletes to apply that to, and you're just applying that to yourself, what's the point, right? What's the point of doing workouts when you're just scaling them? Scaling them always, just scaling them. And it's one of those things that it's important to remember your why. Why are you doing this? Why did you start this? What's the goal? What, in the grand scheme of things, right? So when we lay out goals, set up a competition, have a certain thing to work for, be working for a race, be working towards, PRing a lift, be working towards a competition, or improving your score in the open, or whatever the case may be. Passing the Army fitness test, or getting a higher score, or maxing it out, or, whatever the case may be. And it's also about, how does it make you feel? How does it affect your day-to-day? So we know that exercising creates endorphins, it releases stress, it releases pent-up energy, it allows you to detach from the rest of your day and from the rest of your life, not in a way that's like a relaxation necessarily or an escape, but in a way that allows you to escape while positively working on improving yourself, improving your health, leveling out your mind, bringing a sense of peace and calmness to your body, to your mind, that you can then carry with you through the rest of your day. And whether that's working at a job or running the household, making you a better parent, helping you be more level-headed and more adult with your children. And those things are just as important. It's awesome to be hitting new lifts, to be learning new skills, to be tackling all those things, but just because there are other side effects too that aren't as significant, they're just as important. So, whether it's rolling an ankle, or, breaking a hand, or throwing out your back, or, whatever the case may be, work starts, scheduling you 12-hour days and you barely have enough time to sleep, let alone work out or be with your family. Everything can be overcome. and you're allowed to have your feelings about it, but you need to process them, continue to work forward, and continue to move. One of my favorite quotes about exercising, and I need to look it up and find it, so I stopped paraphrasing it, was Arnold Schwarzenegger saying that working out, you don't have to be in the mood for it to be effective. You don't have to be in the mood to exercise for it to benefit you. I preach all the time too about something is better than nothing. 10 minutes is better than 0 minutes, right? 20% is more than 0%. So as much as I talk about do everything that you do with focus, with tenacity, go into it 100%, know that 20% is 100% more than 0, right? So do what you can to the best that you have to give at that moment. If it's just 10 minutes, if it's just a set of squats, if it's just a run, and that's the most that you can give, that is more than not doing anything. And it's always about consistency over perfection. So a little bit every day is what makes a difference in the long run. And you take it minute by minute, you take it hour by hour, you take it day by day, and eventually you get through it. Everything is temporary. Nothing lasts. And it sounds nihilistic, but it's also hopeful, because it means that anything that you're going through that's difficult, that's painful, that's hurtful, that's lonely, that's depressing, that's stressful, it will end. It will. Things will change. Things will get better. And yes, that also means that when things are good, they don't stay that way, right? But specifically when you're going through a tough time, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. It might get darker first. The universe will fight back and try to get you back to where you were. But if you push through and get to your next level, there's always the sun behind the clouds. How many cliches can I throw into one conversation? So, resiliency is like a muscle, just like self-control is, and discipline, right? You have to flex it in order for it to get stronger. That always means a temporary weakness. So just know that whatever it is that you are going through, keep fighting. You will get through it. So 13 minutes of me talking. Hope you enjoyed the chat today. If you haven't lately, check out the website, jakaris.fit. Remember that we are now on Beyond the Whiteboard. So there's a couple different ways to go about subscribing, right? Payment for Jakaris Fit subscription services are on the website. That's where you do your $10 a month payment and get that set up. Once you have that set up, you can either go through the process of emailing me so I create the account for you, so you don't have to worry about that on the Beyond the Whiteboard end, and I set up your account and give you access. If you already have a Beyond the Whiteboard account, so you're paying their yearly fee already, but you have access, you have an account and login info, you just go ahead on the Jakaris Fit website, pay the $10 a month to join, and just let me know, and I can send you an email invite. And then Jakaris Fit pays for your Beyond the Whiteboard membership, so that then your Beyond the Whiteboard membership then gets refunded to your account on their end. They do that. But so there's a couple of different ways to go about doing that, but hopefully if you've been using the app, you're loving Beyond the Whiteboard. It's by far my favorite logging app. So I hope you're enjoying it as well. So check out the Instagram, check out the Facebook. I kind of post different things on each channel. Some of it's the same thing with Twitter. But as somebody who is on all the social media sites, I know that it gets kind of repetitive to see the same thing, like, oh, she posted this on Instagram. Oh, look, there it is on Facebook now. So I kind of do different things on different outlets just to keep it from being too boring and repetitive. So Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, definitely check out the website. Keeping the YouTube channel active, although I don't know what I'm doing here. So, yeah, any questions, comments, concerns, hit me up, let me know. Spread the word, tell your friends, wear your shirts, take video, take pictures, tag me, at me. I love hearing from you guys. Keep up the good work and attack with fire, Dracarys.